The 1970s was a wild ride for the American automotive industry, filled with big changes in what people wanted from their cars and how technology shaped the future. But let's be honest, not every car that rolled off the assembly line during this time was a winner. In fact, some were downright disasters. From engines that guzzled gas but barely moved a ride so uncomfortable you'd rather walk, these cars missed the mark in every way imaginable. They were unreliable, awkwardly designed, and left buyers wondering, what were they thinking? So, buckle up as we take a trip down memory lane to uncover the top 10 most infamous American cars of the 1970s. Vehicles that made such a bad impression, they probably should have stayed in the design studio. Coming in at number 10 is the 1976 Chevrolet Chevette, a car that you likely remember if you were around in the late 70s and 80s, or have heard stories about. Launched in September 1975, the Chevette quickly became a common sight on American streets. It was Chevy's answer to the growing demand for small, affordable cars, stepping in after the Vega. Over 12 years, Chevrolet sold around 2.8 million Chevettes, which sounds impressive, but sales numbers don't always tell the full story. Designed to be budget-friendly and fuel-efficient, the Chevette was perfect for city driving, at least on paper. Available in both 3-door and 5-door hatchback styles, the Chevette was built on GM's Global T platform, shared with cars like the Opel Kadett and Isuzu Gemini. Engine options ranged from a modest 1,471cc to a 1.8-liter diesel introduced later in the lineup. But, despite these options, none of them gave the Chevette much of a boost in power. Transmission choices included a 4-speed manual, a 5-speed manual, or a 3-speed automatic depending on the model, but again, they didn't do much to enhance its sluggish performance. While the Chevette was practical for the time, especially for budget-conscious buyers, its reputation took a nosedive thanks to its underpowered engines, slow acceleration, and lackluster build quality. The interior felt cheap, and reliability was hit or miss. Although it served its purpose for many drivers, the Chevette's weak performance and low-quality materials earned it a spot on the list of cars that didn't quite live up to the hype. Number 9 on our list is the 1975 Chevrolet Monza, a car that was supposed to give sporty coupes like the Ford Mustang a run for their money, but ended up running into all sorts of trouble instead. Launched in September 1974 and produced until 1980, the Monza was based on the same platform as the Vega, which already had its own share of issues. Originally, Chevrolet planned for the Monza to be powered by a revolutionary GM Wankel rotary engine, but due to rising concerns about fuel economy and emissions, they ditched that idea and went with more traditional piston engines instead. The Monza came in 2 main models, the Monza 2+2 and the Monza Town Coupe. While it initially used the same 140 cubic inch inline-4 engine from the Vega, by 1977 it switched to the 151 cubic inch Iron Duke inline-4. For those looking for more power, there were optional engines like the 196 cubic inch Buick V6, the 262 cubic inch small block V8, and eventually the 305 cubic inch V8. Some models even offered a hefty 350 cubic inch V8, but don't let those big numbers fool you. The Monza still struggled to perform. What made the Monza stand out at first glance was its sharp, Ferrari-inspired design. With its slanted polyurethane nose, rectangular headlights, and a sleek slot-style grille, John DeLorean himself dubbed it the Italian Vega for its resemblance to the Ferrari 365 GTC4. Unfortunately, the Monza's good looks couldn't save it from a host of problems. The engine bay was so cramped that simple maintenance tasks became a nightmare, and it inherited many of the Vega's infamous build quality issues. Reliability and durability were constant headaches, and its underwhelming performance disappointed drivers looking for a true sporty coupe. Eventually, poor sales forced Chevrolet to pull the plug, and the Monza faded into automotive history as one of the era's most notorious flops. At number 8 is none other than the 1976 Dodge Aspen, a vehicle that started with high hopes, but ended up becoming a symbol of everything that could go wrong in car manufacturing. Introduced by Chrysler to replace the aging Dodge Dart, the Aspen was part of Chrysler's attempt to modernize its compact lineup. sharing the F-body platform with its sibling, the Plymouth Valiant. In production from 1976 to 1980, the Aspen went through numerous updates, but despite Chrysler's efforts to refine it, the car's reputation kept sliding downhill. The Dodge Aspen sported a very boxy, no-nonsense design typical of the 1970s. With its squared-off front end, rectangular headlights, and a formal roofline, it didn't exactly turn heads. Buyers could choose between a two-door coupe, a four-door sedan, or even a station wagon, with several trim levels available, ranging from the basic models to the more premium Aspen RT. Under the hood, the Aspen offered a range of engine options, including the popular 318 cubic inch V8, which delivered around 140 to 150 horsepower, a decent figure for the time. Most Aspens came with a 3-speed automatic transmission, though a 4-speed manual was also available. On paper, it seemed like a well-rounded car, but in reality, the Aspen quickly became notorious for its poor build quality. Severe rust issues, especially in areas with harsh winters, meant these cars would often rust away before their time. And it wasn't just the body that was a problem. Mechanical issues were frequent, from the engine and transmission to the drivetrain and electrical systems. To make matters worse, the Aspen faced multiple recalls during its production run, with problems ranging from safety features to emission systems. Although the Aspen did have a few forward-thinking features like an optional electronic ignition, it wasn't enough to overcome its long list of flaws. The rust, the breakdowns, and the recalls all added up, cementing the Dodge Aspen's reputation as one of Chrysler's biggest failures. Despite its initial promise, the Aspen became a cautionary tale in automotive history, proving that even good intentions can sometimes lead to disastrous results. At number 7, we have the 1970 Ford Maverick, a car that hit the scene as Ford's response to the growing competition from Japanese imports like the Datsun 610 and Toyota Mark II. As the Ford Falcon was fading in popularity, the Maverick was introduced to fill the gap, hoping to win over buyers with its low price tag and promise of fuel efficiency. Debuting in April 1969 as a 1970 model, the Maverick was Ford's attempt to keep up with the changing times. Initially available as a two-door sedan with rear-wheel drive, Ford soon expanded the Maverick lineup to include a four-door sedan on the same platform. The car's design kept things simple, with a focus on affordability, and even its nameplate featured a logo designed to look like the head of a longhorn cattle, a nod to its wild and independent namesake. Engine choices ranged from the 2.8L to the 4.9L Thrift Power inline-6 engines, but while the Maverick had several engine options, it clearly prioritized economy over performance. Paired with Ford's C4 automatic transmission, the car delivered modest power outputs, leaving drivers wanting more in terms of excitement behind the wheel. Although the Maverick initially gained traction due to its budget-friendly pricing and simple design, it wasn't long before quality issues and mechanical problems began to surface. The car's long-term appeal suffered, and as time went on, the Maverick's reputation took a hit. Despite its early popularity, the Maverick struggled to keep up with a rapidly evolving automotive market, eventually leading to its discontinuation. Its legacy is a reminder of Ford's attempt to adapt to a changing landscape, but it ultimately fell short in cementing a lasting presence in the subcompact market. At number 6, we find the 1973 Oldsmobile Omega, a compact car that, despite its long run from 1973 to 1984, never quite stood out in the crowd. The Omega was Oldsmobile's answer to the growing demand for smaller, more economical cars, and it shared much of its DNA with the Chevy Nova and Buick Apollo. While the Omega had 3 generations, each with its own features, it's the first generation from 1973 to 1974 that often gets the most attention, thanks to its blend of practicality and familiar American muscle. Available as a 2-door coupe, a 3-door hatchback, and a 4-door sedan, the first generation Omega came with a standard 250 cubic inch Chevrolet inline-6 engine and a 3-speed manual transmission. For those who craved more power, Oldsmobile also offered the option of a 350 cubic inch Rocket 5.8 engine, which could be paired with either a 4-speed manual or an automatic transmission. The Omega may have shared its platform with other GM cars, but it did feature some unique Oldsmobile styling touches, like its distinct front and rear designs and a dashboard trimmed with wood grain for that extra dash of class. It even came in 2 trim levels, base and brougham. A quirky fact about the first generation is that only 53 3-door models were produced in 1973, making them a rare find today. But despite these highlights, the Omega never really shook its reputation as a car plagued by mechanical issues, particularly during its 3rd generation from 1980 to 1984. At that point, Oldsmobile switched the Omega to a front-wheel drive system using the same platform as the Chevrolet Citation. With engine options like a 2.5L inline-4 and a 2.8L V6, along with an optional 4.3L V6, the Omega should have been poised for success. However, it struggled with reliability, lacked innovation in design, and was ultimately overshadowed by its competition. As sales declined and its issues piled up, the Omega's time in the spotlight dimmed, leading to its discontinuation in 1984. Despite its long run, the Omega remains a reminder of Oldsmobile's struggle to keep up in the increasingly competitive compact car market. At number 5, we have the 1970 AMC Gremlin, a compact 2-door car that made quite a splash when it debuted under the American Motors Corporation banner. With its eye-catching design featuring a short wheelbase, a sloping rear end, and a hatchback style, the Gremlin was built for urban drivers seeking efficient transportation. It quickly became a recognizable presence on the roads thanks to its unique appearance and practical design. At number 5, we have the 1970 AMC Gremlin, a compact 2-door car that made quite a splash when it debuted under the American Motors Corporation banner. With its eye-catching design, featuring a short wheelbase, a sloping rear end, and a hatchback style, the Gremlin was built for urban drivers seeking efficient transportation. It quickly became a recognizable presence on the roads, thanks to its unique appearance and practical design. Targeted at city dwellers, the Gremlin offered a variety of trim levels, including the Sporty X package, appealing to a range of tastes. Engine options were diverse, starting from economical inline-4s to more robust V8s, delivering anywhere from 75 to a spirited 150 horsepower. Buyers could choose between manual and automatic transmissions, providing flexibility to match their driving style. However, the Gremlin wasn't without its flaws. It struggled with reliability issues, often requiring repairs due to inconsistent quality control, frustrating for those who just wanted a dependable ride. Inside, the cabin left much to be desired, with cramped seating and basic amenities that did little to enhance comfort. And while the V8 models promised excitement, they ultimately failed to deliver the performance that drivers craved. Despite its shortcomings, the Gremlin has carved out a niche following among car enthusiasts who are drawn to its quirky charm and distinctive character. Collectors often seek out models equipped with V8 engines and manual transmissions, appreciating the Gremlin for its uniqueness in automotive history. As we look back at the 1970s, the AMC Gremlin serves as a fascinating reminder of innovation and disappointment, leaving an indelible mark on American car culture. At number 4 on our list is the 1974 Ford Mustang II, a car that marked a significant chapter in the history of Ford's legendary pony car. Introduced in September 1973 as a 1974 model, the Mustang II emerged during a turbulent time for the auto industry, shaped by the 1973 oil embargo and the fuel shortages that followed. Under the leadership of Lee Iacocca, Ford aimed to adapt to changing consumer demands for more economical vehicles. This second-generation Mustang represented a shift from its muscular predecessor, prioritizing practicality and fuel efficiency over raw power. In fact, the Mustang II was considerably lighter and smaller, shedding an impressive 490 pounds and nearly 19 inches in length compared to the 1973 model. Built on a subcompact platform shared with the Ford Pinto, it featured a unique unibody design, complete with isolated front suspension and rack and pinion steering, which contributed to its improved handling. Its innovative approach did not go unnoticed, as it was named Motor Trend's 1974 Car of the Year. Over its 4-year production run, the Mustang II sold more than 1.1 million units, a testament to its commercial success. However, despite its popularity among everyday drivers, the Mustang II faced a wave of criticism from dedicated enthusiasts. Many were disheartened by the shift away from the high-performance characteristics that had made the original Mustang an automotive icon. They felt that, in its quest for fuel economy amidst rising gas prices, the Mustang II had drifted too far from its roots, leaving behind the very essence that defined the Mustang legacy. At number 3, we have a car that stirred up both excitement and controversy, the 1971 Ford Pinto. Introduced by the Ford Motor Company as its very first subcompact car in North America, the Pinto marked a significant moment in automotive history. Produced until 1980, this little car made a lasting impact, becoming a symbol of its era. With its compact size and lightweight design, the Pinto quickly carved out a competitive niche among other subcompact vehicles. Ford offered the Pinto in both hatchback and sedan styles, catering to a diverse range of consumers seeking affordable and efficient transportation. In the midst of the 1970s fuel crisis, the Pinto's emphasis on fuel efficiency helped it stand out in a market increasingly focused on economical driving solutions. With a variety of four-cylinder engine options, the Pinto delivered a respectable horsepower range of 75 to 120, appealing to budget-conscious buyers. However, the Pinto's legacy took a dark turn due to a critical safety flaw. Its design placed the fuel tank behind the rear axle, making it susceptible to rupture in rear-end collisions. This vulnerability led to fuel leaks and fires, resulting in significant injuries and even fatalities. Alarmingly, it was revealed that Ford was aware of these risks early on, but chose not to address them due to cost concerns, igniting widespread outrage and legal battles. Despite subsequent recalls and modifications aimed at improving safety, the Pinto's reputation never fully bounced back from the scandal. Its story serves as a powerful reminder of the crucial intersection between automotive innovation and ethical responsibility, emphasizing the importance of prioritizing consumer safety over profit margins. The Ford Pinto remains a complex chapter in the annals of automotive history, reminding us that even the most innovative designs can have unintended consequences. At number 2 on our list is the 1976 Plymouth Valiant, a car that perfectly encapsulated the spirit of the mid-1970s automotive landscape. Emerging during a time of significant change in the industry, the Valiant sought to strike a balance between practicality and charm, becoming a standout option for consumers. Its recognition as Motor Trend's Car of the Year in 1976, shared with its sibling, the Dodge Aspen, marked a high point for this model, showcasing its promise and potential in a highly competitive market. The Valiant featured a straightforward yet appealing design, characterized by clean lines and tasteful chrome accents that added a touch of sophistication. This design language helped it appeal to a wide range of buyers, from families to young professionals seeking reliable transportation. Inside, while it didn't offer the lavish luxury of high-end models, the Valiant's interior provided a comfortable and inviting environment. With materials that range from basic vinyl to plush velour, the cabin was designed to be functional and accommodating for everyday use. Engineered for practicality, the Valiant came equipped with a variety of engine options, including the reliable 225 cubic inch slant 6 and the more powerful 318 cubic inch V8, catering to different performance preferences. Its straightforward 3-speed automatic transmission made driving accessible and uncomplicated, ideal for those navigating busy city streets or long highway journeys. However, the Valiant's journey was not without its challenges. Despite its initial acclaim, the car began to struggle with quality issues, and reports of mechanical reliability soon tarnished its reputation. Nevertheless, the Valiant remains an enduring symbol of its era, capturing the essence of a time when American manufacturers were grappling with changing consumer demands. As we reflect on the 1976 Plymouth Valiant, we are reminded of its significance, not just as a car, but as a representation of an automotive industry in transition, balancing innovation with the demands of everyday life. And finally, at number 1 on our list is the 1973 Buick Apollo, a compact car that, despite its promise, struggled to make a lasting mark. During its brief production run from 1973 to 1975, launched as part of General Motors' X body platform, which included popular models like the Chevy Nova and Pontiac Ventura, the Apollo aimed to cater to the growing demand for compact vehicles in the early 1970s. However, its conservative styling and overall presence failed to capture the attention of car enthusiasts. Under the hood, the Apollo offered a range of engine options from a 250 cubic inch inline 6 to a 350 cubic inch V8. Yet, despite the larger V8 engine's potential for excitement, the Apollo fell short when it came to delivering the spirited acceleration that many drivers craved. With transmission options including a 3-speed automatic and a 4-speed manual, the driving experience was more about getting from point A to point B than enjoying the journey itself. The car's performance issues were compounded by significant build quality concerns. Owners frequently reported mechanical problems, including engine troubles and electrical faults, which led to an endless cycle of repairs and frustrations. In a compact car market filled with reliable and engaging alternatives, the Apollo found it challenging to stand out. Ultimately, the 1973 Buick Apollo serves as a reminder of how even well-intentioned models can miss the mark. Its short-lived production run highlights the importance of meeting consumer expectations for performance, reliability, and overall driving enjoyment, elements that were critical in the fiercely competitive landscape of compact cars during the 1970s. Despite its struggles, the Apollo remains a part of automotive history, a reflection of a time when manufacturers were navigating the complexities of consumer demands and market trends. The 1970s were a time of dramatic change in the automotive world, but not all innovations hit the mark. In fact, several American cars from this era have faded into obscurity, leaving us wondering what the manufacturers were thinking. These 10 models epitomize why not every classic deserves a second chance on the road. So, which car do you think takes the crown as the worst of the bunch? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know. And don't forget to support us. Like, share, and subscribe for more engaging content that dives into the quirkiest corners of automotive history.